FAR 225 Q&A practice test. Ready? Here we go. This chicken coop, was it all neat and clean when you got there? Not at all. Can you describe what you saw aside from Ms. White's body? It seemed that structure was being used for storage of all kinds of items, debris, trash, ladders, seat covers. It was just a bunch of things of junk. Okay, to the left of the diagram, there are two square boxes that you drew, right? Yes, both of them are just debris and trash, right? Yes, and on the right, we see kind of a line running straight down the diagram, right? Yes, what does that show? That was to show trash and debris that were on the inside of the east side of the chicken coop. Now, there's a placard. Is it an 8 or a B? It's the letter B. What did that mean? That was a cloth glove that was found on another search. The other search was that March 13th, yes. So just off the top of your head, do you recall on March 9th seeing that glove? I do not. Okay, we will talk about the March 13th search a little bit later, but the placard 26, this box, what is that? I don't recall. I'd have to look at the report or the legend. Looking at the legend, placard 26 says soda can, right? Yes. You think it was just a can of soda there? I do. It was an empty can. Was that something on March 9th or the next search on the 13th, on the 9th? Okay, and the gun, I see what seems to be a symbol for a gun, right? Yes. Symbol for a pistol? Yes. That was the gun found on March 13th? Yes. Okay, this place that you have shown where the gun was, the debris trash ladder area. Was it just full with stuff at that time on March 9th? It was very cluttered and full. I'll get back to this in a second, but I just want to ask you about another diagram. In general, was it shown in this exhibit 42? And this exhibit is a diagram. This is going to be an overhead shot of the house or building on rows, and you also had a legend for that one, right? Yes. And at the far left corner of the legend, we start with, when you write placard, does that mean just a plastic placard that is put there by crime scene workers? Yes, it will either be a plastic placard or a sticker. You wrote placard 15 is a damaged door frame, right? Right. Okay, let's move the diagram over and to the right. The upper right is placard 15, right? If you could zoom in, it would be very helpful. Can you see it now? I can. And what is shown in placard 15? Placard 15 is the damaged door frame. Okay, on the legend, it says placard 16 is pry and scratch marks on the door. Do you recall what that was? It is going to be on the door itself near the lock is where there were scratches and pry marks on that. For the record, on the diagram, this placard 16 is right next to placard 15, right? Yes. Now also on the diagram is a placard 17, and on your legend you wrote that it's a black metal pry bar, right? Yes, it looks like there's a thick line. Is that going to be the pry bar? It is. Did you see the pry bar? I did. Is that where it was found? Yes. Move the diagram over a little bit to the left. We are kind of in the left part of the diagram. You have placards 18 and 19 that you wrote were small desks, right? Yes. And I take it these somewhat dark symbols next to 18 and 19, those were the small desks. Yes. Placard 20 of the legend says desk void on cloth pad. What is that? There was a cloth pad on, I forget what item that it was on, but there had been an item that you could tell had been moved. There was dust around it, and there was a really clean spot, leaving a void. Okay, now just to the left of that, it looks like a diagram for a bathroom, right? It is, and below that, I think it's a placard 22, and placard 22 says it's a metal filing chest, right? Yes. Was there a filing chest there? There was. Moving just to the right, you see this kind of circle with lines spreading out from the center of it. What is that? That is showing a spiral staircase that went from the middle part of the house up to a bedroom and a bathroom that was Sue's. This diagram, is this of the downstairs or upstairs? It's a tri-level home. Okay, this would be like the mid-level. There's a bottom level where there were rooms. Then you have the main, the middle level, which is going to consist of Mr. White's room, a spare bedroom, the living room, the kitchen part, and then you have these stairs that went up to a top part, which would have been Ms. White's bedroom as well as the bathroom. And Ms. White's bedroom and bathroom is not shown on this diagram. It is not. Okay, to the far left of the diagram, there's two boxes, which I think are rooms, right? Yes. And we have placard 25, which you wrote was a dust void on a blanket. Yes. That is shown as Bill's room, right? Yes. And there's a, below that, there's a few squares with marks in them. Do you recall what those were? The squares were marked with marks are showing, like I say, excuse my work here, but it's just showing a bed. Okay, and now let's go to the center bottom part of the diagram. You have, there's a placard 21 that based on your legend, it says blue cloth blanket with pellet rifle, pellet gun, small camera, small silver case, right? Yes. So you saw all those things? Yes, sir. Sergeant, you identified photos at the scene of the victim in this case, but I think you said that there was no visible sign of trauma on her, right? Yes. At some point there was a coroner at the scene, is that right? Yes. And there are a few other coroners that day, if you recall that. Yes. Later on in the morning, did a coroner come to roll the body? Yes. What does that mean? It just means examine the body, could be taking it from the scene. All right. That will conclude our RPR 225 Q&A practice test.